Hi there. Today we're going to read a story about a man that nobody liked, but Jesus liked him. There was once a man who didn't have any friends. Do you have friends? I'm sure you have a few. But not Zacchaeus. Poor Zacchaeus didn't have any, and you're probably wondering why. Was it because he was so short? That's not a reason not to like someone. Was it because he had a name that was hard to say? Even though he was short and he did have a funny name, that wasn't it. No, people didn't like Zacchaeus because he stole their money. Zacchaeus collected taxes. Now, taxes were what people had to pay the king. But Zacchaeus took more than he was supposed to and kept the extra money for himself and made himself rich. And it made them cross and grumpy. They didn't like Zacchaeus one little bit. Anyway, one day a huge crowd gathered by the road. Jesus was coming to their town and everyone wanted to see him. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus too, but everyone was too tall. He tried jumping up and down, but that didn't work. He couldn't see a thing. Zacchaeus had a good idea. "I'll climb that sycamore tree," he said, and so he did. He was surprisingly good at climbing trees for a man who was so unusually short that he normally had to take a flying leap just to get into his chair in the morning. From the tree, Zacchaeus had the perfect view all the way down the road. Another minute and suddenly Jesus was at the tree. He stopped and looked up. Zacchaeus saw Jesus and Jesus saw Zacchaeus. "Zacchaeus," Jesus said, "I'd like to come over to your house." Zacchaeus almost fell out of the tree. Come over to his house? No one ever wanted to come anywhere near his house, let alone inside it. The people saw this, and needless to say, it made them even crosser and grumpier than usual. In fact, quite angry. They mumbled and murmured and muttered, "Why is Jesus being kind to that big sinner? Doesn't he know all about him?" Zacchaeus scrambled down and took Jesus to his house. He was in a big hurry because he didn't want Jesus to change his mind. Perhaps Jesus hadn't heard about him. Perhaps Jesus didn't know how he had been stealing and how no one liked him and how he didn't have any friends. But you guessed it, Jesus knew. He knew all about Zacchaeus and the stealing and everything, and he still loved him. Zacchaeus was ashamed. "Lord," he said, turning rather pale, "what I've done is wrong, but now I want to do the right thing. I will give the money back to everyone, 4 times what I stole." And that's just what he did. Jesus smiled at him. "My friend," he said, "today God has rescued you." You see, Jesus loved Zacchaeus no matter what he had done, just like he loves us that way too. He loved Zacchaeus when nobody else did. He was his friend when nobody wanted to know him at all. Jesus was showing people God's love. He was showing people what God's love was like. He's wonderful, never stopping, never giving up, unbreakable, always and forever love. And that's the love he has for us right now too.